What's up guys, it's USA Specialist, and Season 6 brought Battlefield 2042 its most unique map yet, but is it any good?
Soldiers with no country left to fight
for. The U.S. and Russia are both being accused of fielding armed no-pats in an escalating fight over vital resources.
After months of speculation and a short delay, Battlefield 2042's long-rumored Season 6 finally made its reveal last week, and after a few days of quietly playing through the new content, of which there isn't all that much, I have to say I mostly agree with EA insiders who were impressed with the game's newest map, Redacted. Redacted is the culmination of months of rumors, years of nostalgia, and lots of hard work where DICE has made a rather worthy successor to the likes of Operation Metro and Operation Locker. While Redacted won't be everyone's thing and no single map can be expected to save the entire game, Redacted shows a huge shift forward in the devs' workflow and how they deliver content to the community. It's a clear love letter to fans who've been demanding they bring back Metro, and is arguably the most well-crafted map of Battlefield 2042, with genuinely new assets, moody environments, and an attention to detail we don't get to see in the rest of the game. Aside from just being a beautiful map, for those of us who enjoy infantry combat, Redacted is arguably the sweatiest map, with tight corridors, lots of angles, and way more ways to solve problems than its predecessors. However, like I said in my thoughts prior to the season, I believe Season 6 will live or die depending on this map, so tell me your thoughts below, and let's break down the good, the bad, and the ugly of Dark Creation's Season 6 map, Redacted. Redacted has a lot of good going for it, as long as you enjoy one of two things. First, if you're one of those players who love the Operation Metro style meat grinder, then the center of Redacted is all yours. While it's certainly not my thing, I can appreciate how action-packed and focused this sort of gameplay is. You can get lots of kills, revives, respawns, and resupplies to count towards your score, all while not having to think all that much about it. However, on the other hand, Redacted's wide range of hallways, tunnels, elevation changes, and focus on lanes is where I really think this map shines and offers something a little bit more elevated than our classic Battlefield 3 Metro. Redacted really rewards map knowledge, battle sense, and understanding the flow. If you can understand where the majority of players are, predict where they'll go next, and approach those engagements carefully, you're setting yourself up for success. While Metro and Locker more so rewarded outright aggression, Redacted certainly rewards a strong squad with strong tactics who understand where to set spawn beacons and where and when to attack. All the while, when you do move with a talented squad and your battle sense is correct, you set yourself up for amazing moments where you get the opportunity to work an engagement and focus on making a difference at decisive locations. Now, aside from those more abstract ideas, Redacted shines in more basic ways as well, ways of which I have been harping on since the game came out. Redacted has a very strong sense of lane design, which keeps the fights focused, intimate, and aggressive. You almost never get killed from off in the distance or approached from an unexpected direction, and it causes the map to expect a lot more out of players' ability to understand audio cues, push gunfights, and understand map layout. Going hand in hand with that, Redacted is not focused around points of interest nearly as much as something like Hourglass or Discarded. The map is a constant flow of cover, angles, and new opportunities to make plays. The entire map is engaging, and it makes every second of gameplay matter.
Got one! Target down!
The American forces have Bravo sector.
Team is down!
Don't help me!
So far, Redacted is becoming one of my favorite Battlefield 2042 experiences, and is pushing me to be a better player. With so many opportunities to move across the map, Redacted is diverse and rich enough to allow everyone to have their moment, whether it's holding a hallway with an LMG, or getting behind the enemy team with Pake. Redacted is by far and away the most engaging map in Battlefield 2042, and it demands a lot more skill and attention than the rest. It demands smart movement, an understanding of the meta, and endless map knowledge, which creates a depth and competitiveness we have yet to see in Battlefield for a long time. We finally got a map that skilled players can sink their teeth into, and that alone is more than any other map can say. I'm thoroughly enjoying Redacted, and I'd love to see it on other modes like Rush and Shutdown in the near future. But like every map, it does have a few problems. Now, I have two major gripes about this map, and here's the first one. Remember when I said that Redacted gives every player the opportunity to have their moment? Well, that applies especially to campers.
Sector Delta.
In general, Redacted is such a sweaty and tough map that some players just give up. They grab Dozer and Auto 12 and sit under staircases and at the top of zip lines, and with such a fast-paced and aggressive map, it seems that camping can become the only way for some players to survive, and it totally shuts down big plays, which typically change up the battle lines and shift the flow, adding to the diversity which I spoke about. Campers and other troll tactics like Dozer are frequent, and with the 880 buff, I even find myself running a shotgun with Pake. Ultimately, there are some cheesy issues with this map, like being able to hide under the staircases and above zip lines, but Redacted is more so an example of how the specialist system doesn't fit into a traditional Battlefield map. Pake's wall hacks, Dozer's shield, McKay's grapple, and Angel's loadout box are all either an annoying crutch or simply don't work. Redacted can become a cesspool of these crutch tactics, but in such a competitive tight map, I understand why we all do it. It's just that Redacted pushes these issues into the focus a lot more clearly than any other environment. The one other issue I have with this map is again how it exposes issues with the core gameplay of Battlefield 2042. Redacted is by far and away the game's most aggressive, fastest, sweatiest map, and when those gunfights are fast and hectic, it can expose issues with hit reg, tick rates, and gunplay. Redacted's insane pace and competitive speed needs a stronger infrastructure behind it in order to keep up. I can't tell you how many times I've been several meters around the corner and still died, or been visibly way faster on the trigger and still lost. Redacted has a hard time meshing with both the meta and infrastructure at large. The map often exposes the worst of Battlefield 2042 in its player base, balance, and technical support. But when you're not facing those rare and painful moments, Redacted is rather incredible. It's a tight, competitive, head-to-head experience that draws inspiration from its ancestors while creating something entirely new, and perhaps for the first time in Battlefield 2042, something memorable. Redacted is a great step forward for this game, as well as the history of Metro and Locker, and perhaps it'll become the map we beg to see remastered in the next title. But drop those comments below, and for everything else Battlefield, stay tuned and subscribe, and as always, thank you guys for watching.